This is Odinite from the show. Just hopping in here to Star Trek Online and going to do something that I swore I was going to update one of these centuries, and well, this century seems to be as good as any, so here it is. The Manticore into a really potent torpedo starship. Now, when this first came out, I didn't have the fleet version, so I made the build off of the non-fleet version. And let me tell you something. Between the ship art itself, as well as the seating, I was so in love with this ship. I just said, you know what, this is it. Ben Sisko had his Defiant. This is my ship. This is Odinite's ship. All this thing is a housing to fire torpedoes with a deflector dish and engines. I love it. Going into the actual build itself, first we start with the skills, so the captain's skill tree right here. Same as the one I did with the turning a Galax into a torpedo starship. Just got enough in engineering to get battery expertise, science for, at the very least, the two set bonuses for, not set bonuses, the two bonuses for probability manipulation. You want probability penetration and probability window. One extends the duration, the other adds a stacking damage resistance debuff whenever you throw down crits. And you will be throwing down crits when this thing is active. The third one here, you don't need it. Once I get a respec token, I'm just going to throw it down there to respec and be done with it. It's nice with one of the other doffs out there for healing, as I stated in the previous video. Even though it has been fixed, mind you, it's a fix to where it's 20% chance on activating any X ability. You'll be able to get some healing for 10 seconds, and this doubles it. It's still useful if you want to go that route. Other than that, though, you can use that point to go into somewhere else. Most likely go into attack. Because then you can get all the crit chance for energy weapons, crit chance for projectile. If you wanted to build up that way, I probably would at this point. Yeah, because of how low it is, you're like 1% crit chance versus 5% crit D. Go with the crit chance. Yeah, this would only be a real choice if it was 10% critical damage versus 1% crit hit. So, that's all. Ooh, I see. Some people talking about torps. It's lovely stuff. Love it in Reddit chat. Anyway, shout out to everybody over at Reddit chat. You guys are great. I love hanging around with you guys. Going on to the rest of this build here. Let me see. Where did I put that torpedo? Nope, it's not there. Never mind. So, the gear that I have for the typical loadout. Neutronic torpedo. And the other piece for the two-piece set would be the Bioneural Gel Pack. That's to bring the cooldown of the torpedo down to something a bit more reasonable and buff the radiation damage of this torpedo here. So, it will hit the shields first before the kinetic damage is applied. And the more shields you start stripping away, the better it is for you to be able to do damage. Like big time deeps. Yeah, love it. That's why I like leading off with a neutronic spread or high yield to the target before I start firing any of these other torps out there. The enhanced biomolecular photon torpedo. Very weak under torpedo spread. But it is the high yield that makes this thing the killer. And for multiple reasons. One, it's non-destructible. Two, it flies as fast as this other one here. Although, not fast enough in my opinion, especially with other torps now that can fly faster. But that's another discussion. Three, its yield, its blast yield is the same as a gravimetric. So, it's pretty decent. Four, when you pair it up with Concentrate Firepower, which is a command bridge officer ability, you start chain firing these things in high yield, and it is devastation. 3-kilometer AoE blast radius field of devastation. And it doesn't hurt you, whereas this one will hurt you. I have the experimental proton weapon here as part of the protonic arsenal for the 3-piece bonus to photon torpedoes, increasing the crit chance of them as well as the crit severity. So, this is a photon, this is a photon, and this is a photon. So you think with all this, I should probably go with heavy photon build, right? Well, I went with generic torpedo because this neutronic torpedo still hits like a truck. Even in salvo mode, it still hits like a truck. So, yeah, you still want to use that. The Terran Task Force Photon Torpedo. This torpedo, in and of itself, you can compare the damage on here. 15.1 with anchored stacks on it versus 15.2 with the enhanced biomolecular and the gravimetric. It at first looks like, yeah, it's okay, whatever. But as your target's health gets lower, this torpedo does more damage, up to 200% more when it's at 25% hull. Now, I've more or less eyeballed it, and I say the ideal firing time where you want to prioritize this over any of these other two will be when the target's hull is around 35%. That's when you want to start prioritizing the Terran Task Force torpedo, especially under high yield 1. It's because the mechanics are so busted right now, especially under high yield 1. Outside of probability manipulation. Inside probability manipulation, you're still going to love it. You know, high yield 1 or high yield 3, you're golden. So just use it. Give me one moment. We're going to have a nice demonstration here, too. Yeah. So we'll go with that. We're going to have a nice little demonstration. The gear. You can swap out depending on whatever you need here. Counter command, deflector, for a little bit more punch, especially with the Starship projectile weapon training. It's a plus 20 off of that. That adds, 20 more to this. Yeah, probably another, 10% tops. So we go back to status. Here we go. The 2-piece adapted Mako, which would be good. And you could either swap out the deflector and have the deflector and engine for the adapted Mako, and then go a little bit more defensive with the Iconian shield and core. And the reason you want to go with that defensively is because whenever you hit distribute shields and you have the Iconian 2-piece, once every 30 seconds you get a nice little shield heal on all shield facings. So that's good. I went with the adapted Mako shield here and the engine because I wanted to have a little bit more punch with my torps. And this one also has a little bit of a defensive nature for it here. People who hit me with energy weapons, 20% chance that they become placated for 1 second, but max once every 10 seconds. It saved me a couple of times. Excuse me. I wouldn't say it's the world's greatest thing, but the Iconian shield is definitely better for a defensive ability. Because, clearing a debuff once every 10 seconds and with the 2-piece for the distribute shields is good times. The Iconian core, primarily I use this for anti-weapon shutdown. It's beautiful. Other than that, any core would work, really. Probably butterfly core if I had it here, so a little bit more bridge officer cooldown. You get this from, I forget the mission. Was it Sunrise? No, it's not Sunrise. It's the one before it. I'm pretty sure it's the one before it. You also get a nice little science console you could use there as well. That'll be good if you want to do that or help out with drain builds. But a better build would be for draining, quantum phase torpedo paired with the neutronic torpedo, with the quantum phase converter, and then you could go with the core and the science console and then a couple others. You want the Terran deflector to go in here, and maybe the Terran core. But again, you have options to mix and match. And that's one of the beautiful things about a torpedo, that there's so many different metas depending on what you're building for, that you have variety. And you're not going to get too bored with it. I mean, yes, there'll be some things that'll be a common thing across the board as far as what torps to use. But again, it's more focused on if you're going for more drains and energy reduction against your target, you want this one, and you want this one, especially the stripping shields. If you want more big booms, you definitely want these. You want this one here. You want the set bonuses to boost them all up. The 3-piece from the Advanced Temporal Defense Chronoton Torpedo Launcher, the 3-piece, I don't think it's worth it. It's supposed to be 25% hull and shield penetration for 15 seconds. Let me see here. Info, right. So it's supposed to be, 25% for 15 seconds. Yes, I do remember. But that 2-minute recharge, 1. 2, the set itself is just so lackluster. And 3, the spread is as far as damage. The proc is especially considering the best time to build it will just be under torpedo spread, because you can't do it under high yield. And the high yield is just so god-awful. It's like you wonder who designed this torpedo and why did they troll us with it. But I digress again. The rear for this build, and it can alter. You can put some pieces for the set bonuses back here. Plenty of room to improve. What I did here was the heavy chronometric Polaron turret. It's just pew-pew for scatter volley. But hey, if I get a proc, good job. I get a little bit more, 15% shield penetration. It's not additive, it's multiplicative based off of what we last saw, so it's not really much. But it's a nice Polaron weapon there. I would probably, if I wanted to go with a little bit more phaser procs, probably would have went with the twin of this one here. But we're going to do a little run with this. But I would definitely stick with the heavy biomolecular disruptor, because it's a nice debuff, it hits hard. You don't care about the set bonuses for this thing at all. For your devices, you have 3 devices here. Deuterium surplus is beautiful. You want to use that as much as possible. Stock up on it as much as possible. My supply is running low. This is low for me. Binaural infusion circuits, heavy on the crit D. Now with this build, I went extremely heavy on the crit D on it, to the point where you're going to see exactly how much crit D I'm going to have here. So, on crit D with the stats, going into combat, yes, my crit chance is stupidly low at 12%. Crit severity 185. If I really wanted to jack that up a little bit more, I could drop that in there. Yeah, 188. I could keep this 3-piece bonus for global crit, throw down something else. It's fine. This console here comes with the ship, the Enhanced Dynamic Tactical System. I don't use a phaser Lotus on this one here. I use the Drain on it. The Tachyon Inversion Beams. This strips shields like a madman. The more flow you have, the better off you are with it. It is a beautiful thing. You use it. Alright, you see that ship? You're going to die. Gone. Next one. You're going. Some of these energy weapons beat you to it. You're going to have to get used to that, because flying a torp boat with a whole bunch of high-powered energy users, you are definitely going to have to think ahead of them. Constantly, or else your torps are going to be airballing left and right. See, they're high powered, they're high powered, they're high powered. Those things, though, still alive. Alright, so I can put off a couple things downrange. As we're cleaning this stuff up, gotta love that. There is a slight delay both in target acquisition as well as the game registering when the actual hit took place versus any sort of damage. Now look at that. That's not right. That is not right. I should not be flying almost as fast as my bloody Photon torpedo leaving the tubes. That is not right. Oh, Benthans. Yes, this is the perfect place. People say they hate Benthans. I personally enjoy it when it's not buggy. And even when it is a little bit buggy, it's okay because it's still survivable. The normal strategy, or at least normal to a lot of people, would be to go take a lane and then escort them through. As a torp boat, especially one with explosive potential, you are not going to do that. Here's your game. You're going to go down and shoot every single one of these mofos in the arties, because that is really what kills them. Right there. So, that guy's gone. This guy's about to go. Led with the high-yield neutronic. And then following enhanced biomolecular. Gone. Target's gone. Next targets. Moving on. These guys should be able to take care of them. Are you kidding me? Really? I don't have time for this. Get out of here. Next. It's another series of arties. So, here's the deuterium surplus coming into play. Pop something. Blow this thing up. Now, for those who want to use strategists, and you want to get a nice little cooldown. Forget it. Hold on. What? There we go. I was wondering what happened with that guy. Here we go. Lead off with a high yield 3. Pop that there to get a little bit more procs. Oh, he's gone. Next. Alright. Now with the arties out of the way, I'm going to summon a ship. I'm going to go zoom zoom. Forget it. And then I'm just going to play clean up escort. So those artilleries, they don't do that nasty little AoE on the Benthans. So they're safe. Mostly safe. You still have to go through and clean up all this other garbage around here. Here's where the biomolecular high yield 1 comes in. Even with the shields up, you see how much damage it did there? Even with it having full shields. Because if you juice up your torpedo damage to the point that it's going to overwhelm the shields, you'll still do damage. Then add to it one of the traits of mega kinetic shearing, which I've already discussed in a previous video. Ugh, it is nasty. Oh, well, you know, respawn. Wow, they must have jacked up the respawn rate on those. Oh well, you're dead. Bye-bye. I did fire at it. Why didn't it go? One of the other annoying things with torpedoes is that if you're really close to the target and client and server don't agree with each other 100%, that's going to happen. Alright, let me help this guy out real quick. Oh, and they did something to steal one of my buffs. No big deal. Come at them like this. Yeah. What? Alright, now these guys should drop off all of their people and then go. Nope, they don't want to do that. Guess what? Alright, he's got him. That's good. I'll get these groups. Come on, come on. Here's where I should have popped the arty. Ooh, that's when it finally hit. 1, 2, 3, go. Alright. Now with stuff on cooldown, hit this. I hit the threatening stance. Yeah, high yield, I'm sorry, torpedo spread gravimetric in the rear. I actually did pretty decent damage considering that this thing still had full shields. Yeah. So, with that said, high yield, bio, oh, shield facing down. Yeah, it's going to go bye-bye. 3, 2, 1, gone. Give that a little salvo right there. Check the rear. Nope, should be still clear. Good. As you can see, extremely effective. You build it right, you fly it right. Extremely effective. Effective. I swear I can't speak the English language. Now these are lightly shielded targets, so even though the first set of shields absorbs the first or second torpedoes and does next to no damage, 75% of the damage just shaved off, The third one, and then the other torpedo coming behind is like, ooh, hull, yum yum. And then it's eats. Good eats right there. So, let's see. Target, 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 go. Really? Come on. Just get rid of it. Mega kinetic sharing will take care of the rest. Pop this guy out. And he should die any second now. Oh, he didn't. Oh, yep, there he goes. Ah, gotta love it when the game delays like that. You can see the hits here. Most of these hits are through shields. So, because of the traits, again, I'll explain later on. Okay, my Concorde is actually handling that. Pretty good. More Benthans there. Good, good, good. He should have those. Yeah, he should have those. This needs to get dealt with right here. Wow. Talk about misfire. Seriously? Come on. That's the one thing here. You lag or you get any sort of strange misfires happening, you suffer as a torpedo starship. You royally, royally suffer. Now, some people say, well, why didn't you use spread there? Well, look, that one high yield enhanced biomolecular just blew up all those targets. Tell me, what I need spread there? Alright, they're clear, they're clear. There should be an arty showing up around here somewhere. Alright, I'm going to cover the middles and then blow these things up. So, there and there. And with that said, target destroyed. He needs help. There's an arty. Let's go. No, just an assault cruiser. Never mind. Ow. Come on. You should have been dead already. So let me see here. What was that other guy doing? Oh well. That's fine. That's there. Did they make it out? One blew up. What was he doing? Oh, we did it. Benthans! Done! Torpedo ship. Yay. The solar station's real easy too. So, with that said, yes. 25% crit D. Love it. This is to help with the cooldown on this one. This is part of the 3-piece bonus that gives you crit hit to photons and a bit of crit D globally. This is the 2-piece set bonus that gives your torpedoes more punch and it helps you fire a little bit faster for the global cooldown. If I remove that, it takes a little bit longer for me to fire between this one and this one and this one and that one. And then Rule 62, good for energy and torpedoes. I just use it because it's an all-around good, very good console. Probably the best low-B investment ever. Oh, I should probably shoot these things down, shouldn't I? Yep, you see energy weapons there. Beat me to the punch. But you know, it's solar. Who cares? I could literally win AFK on that one and good game we win. Let me move this thing. Can I move that thing? This one I can move this thing. There we go. Ah, yes, and we're going to warp to this guy here where we're going to drop big nukes on. So, off of this, what I'm going to do is chamber a torpedo spread, dash off to the target, and then as soon as I can, immediately hold up high yield. If you have plenty of time, good. Pop probability manipulation, start draining shields, pop all the nice goodies. You see I was a baddie here, I didn't pop everything in the kitchen sink like I should have. Start building anchor stacks, mark the target, start debuffing the hell out of it. Throw down like crazy. Somebody stole my concentrate fire powers. You see how busy a torp boat is? Very busy. High yield 1 came down. Look at those hits. Those are mild in comparison, but yeah, target's dead. Combination of everything there, really. Good job to the team. We even got Benthans, and I love Benthans because you can definitely show off the power of a torpedo starship. Yes, energy weapons have fun. They can go all over the place, and Can rapid fire builds can actually swoop in and shoot the target down really, really quickly, but there's just the joy of just having big ass nukes coming down and hitting the target and watching a whole cluster of them just go boom real quick. So that's that. Bridge officer stations. The Manticore itself is very flexible. I can go with science, engineering, or tactical in this Lieutenant Commander Universal setting. Here I went tactical. I wanted a high yield 3 with it. I have Chemosite 2, although I could probably put something else in there if I wanted to. Attack Pattern Beta would be one. Off of that, Tac Team 1. Yeah, if you wanted to put more stat sticks on the rear, like say for the Terran 3-piece, which isn't all that great, you have a bit more part gens. You could throw down the this beam right here for the isokinetic cannon, or you could throw down the quantum phase beam over in the rear again to get the 3-piece phaser lance, which will then work with the phaser Lotus if you start building phasers for a phaser beam ship. Yes, you have options. But I just went with this just because I wanted to double up on Tac Team and maximize the amount of damage I did with my torpedoes. I had another Chemosite here, so I put it in for the Ensign Universal. And then the Commander Tactical, again, Tac Team 1. Cannon Scatter Volley 1, which if I was actually being really good and it was a constant firefight, I'd turn on Threatening Stance, pop a heal, turn it off, fire whatever the heck I wanted to fire. Torpedo Spread and Attack Pattern Omega 3. No brainers here. So I can have hit my AoE and everything versus hit my one big target and blow up a whole bunch of things in there if it's an AoE torpedo. Structural Integrity Collapse. Debuffing. That's all it's there for. Concentrate Firepower in 2 and 3. I believe I could get away with just having 3. And then I could put something here. If I wanted a little bit more maneuverability, I would definitely put Auxiliary Power to Initial Dampeners, or Aux to Damp, and then doff the hell out of it. And then only have a 4-second downtime with this thing. And so I could keep spinning around in circles and have much more resistances to weapons. That's what makes you survivable as a torp boat. Science, Hazard Emitters 1 for the heal and clearing of hazards. And then the other one, when we warp out, which... beautiful warp out right there. Beautiful. So pretty. It's so pretty. So, coming back in Earth space, we wanted to look at the Lieutenant Science seating. And in there, Scramble Sensors. Why Scramble Sensors? Well, depending on which trait you have. I'm actually testing the sucker out. Typically, if you needed a little bit more offense, go with Destabilizing Resonance Beam, especially if you could sit on the target for a bit. A bit more defense, you could probably put Hazard Emitters 2 here. And then for this one, put Science Team or Polarized Hull in the Ensign slot. There we go. That's pretty much the build here. You have a little bit of flexibility with this. If I was using the stat sticks for the beams, I would then put Attack Team up here into the Lieutenant slot and put Fire at Will in the aft. If I didn't have Chemo, Attack Pattern Beta. If I really wanted to be good with it, instead of cycling Chemos, I could probably cycle Attack Pattern Beta and then the Chemosite 1 here. So I can have the most amount of debuffing potential as possible. I just wanted a bit more radiation damage to help me knock out some shields. And I want to have that up as much as possible. So that's pretty much the bridge officer seating. The traits, same as the other one here with the Galax tutorial. Projectile training, kinetic precision. You can come or go with this as you see fit, but if you got it, slot it. Especially if you're going up against a lot of shielded targets. Innocuous for just, whatever little threat reduction you want. Inspirational leader, not as cheap. Yeah, pick it up. It's still kind of one of those, if you got it, use it. Operative, you got it, it's free. Slot if you don't have anything better for your situation. This one, critical. Self-modulating fire. Get it, love it. See the previous video on why. Although it should be obvious, 50% shield pen for 10 seconds, 45-second cooldown, no brainer. Anchored. It's cheap. Get it. Especially when you're going to sit on a target and start wailing on them. Use it. Fleet Coordinator. Good. Use it. This one's more defensive. A Blade of Shell. It's good. Some runner-ups. Yeah, you don't need accuracy. Yeah, so accurate is going to be a waste there. This will be a little bit more defensive. It's not that great, but it's still decent. More defensive. Blaze of Glory is a waste. Don't. It's such an annoyance. That 8 seconds really is 6 seconds, of which you have 3 seconds to fire. That's it. Really? Nah, not worth it. Crippling Fire would be good to help you dodge more if you have high defense, especially if you have high defense. Causes your targets to lose their accuracy when you start critting. And when you pop this bad boy, you start critting. Elusive is good for your defense as well if you want to go with that route. I just wanted to go with the all-out, blow them up before they have a chance to blow me up. Failsafe, I'm not sure how it does against NPCs, really. I've been on the receiving end of this in PvP, and it's rather annoying, so I would say in PvP, use it. Helmsman, I would slot this over Ablative or even Operative. If I need to be able to move from one place to another faster. Hot Pursuits for mines. Intense Focus really isn't that great. I mean, it looks nice when you see these stats, but you only get this stat per 15 seconds, and you must remain in combat for the entire duration or else the stacks are gone. Nah, not good. Intimidating Strikes is actually good, especially in PvP. Oh yeah, they hate you for that. ICP, Invasive Control Programming. Very good when you want to be able to... Hello? Yeah, you could actually, if you want to disable some stuff on there, great for the Hestian Gravwells or any other ships on there. One thing I wanted to note on that, Scramble Sensors does show up on that bad boy, doesn't it? Because I might be able to slot that in for something else and do a little bit more testings. I might be able to get a random shield shutdown. And you damn well know what a random shield shutdown means for a Torpedo Starship. Oh, will you look at that? Scramble Sensors is on the list. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at this. It's going to be so beautiful. You know what? I might have to try that one of these days. You know what? Blade of Defensive. Trying to find. We're going ICP on this one. We're going ICP. Last ditch effort. Now it's finally working. You pop GDF. You go with Invincible in here. Really is kind of a not so great. Momentum is decent, but again, it's just straight like Intense Focus. Must stay in combat in order for it to work. There's other stuff on here. Same thing. Pattern recognition. Same as the other ones. Could be good if it didn't have that restriction, but yeah, you know, whatever. Really, that's the bulk of it there as far as what would be offensive punching. The rest of it is either defensive or quality of life improvement. So, we'll use that. The traits here, Standoff. I'm still running through numbers with this one here to see if it's any good or not. I think it's good. Theoretically, it should be good, but I really need to run some hard number testing on it. Torpedo Barrage, this is the rich man's toy right here. If you get a Shashar, this is what you wanted for a torp boat. Why is it that the most expensive ship in the game has the best trait for any torpedo starship? Yeah, whatever. The previous tutorial will show you all this fun stuff. Checkmate. I'm testing this again with, obviously, Scrambled Sensors. But what it has is that activating a Control Bridge Officer ability will provide a boost to your exotic damage and projectile weapon damage for a short time. And obviously Jam Sensors is there, Tractor Beam Repulsors, Scramble Sensors, Gravity Well, and Photonic Shockwave. Now, it would be nice if Overwhelming Force, Photonic Shockwave, proc this, because then that would be nice. We need to test this out again. But the damage increase, the 30% projectile weapon damage, is only a Cat 1 boost, so don't get all really excited about it. Invincible. Defensive. Keeps you alive. Not much to say about that. Weapon system synergy. Went back to its buggy state, but I still have it just in case I can actually get this thing to proc. Every so often, you get a plus 25% Cat 1 damage boost and 50% shield penetration in effect. And you get the 20-second lockout before you start building stacks again, which is 11 stacks before it executes, blah, blah, blah. Cycle continues. Every so often, I do get a 4-second window where self-modulating fire and weapon system synergy buffs overlap. And that's 100% shield pen. Well, 110. Really, after 100, it doesn't count. So, it's shields? What shields? All my torpedo damage nailed you. I've already went through and explained everything on the Galax tutorial, so all these are still the same. They're still the same, still beautiful. Especially with Mega Kinetic Sharing. This is a must-have, along with Nucaro Offensive, must-have, along with Torpedo Pre-Fire Sequence, must-have. That leaves you 2 slots to play around with. I went with more crit severity for the theme of this build, and enhanced armor penetration because I want to hit harder. With that said, I'm going to do a quick blast on Crystalline. Ooh, definitely. If I get a lucky shield shutdown, plus I get this proc here. Weapon system synergy isn't going to do much for me here on this run. So you see, there's a bit more micromanagement with a torpedo ship versus a beam build. Ooh, overwhelming force, photonic shockwave. I hope it procs that, but we'll test that later. Numeric superiority would be good for Crystalline because typically most people focus on it. Even though it says all damage, it's been Cat 1. Although, it probably would be the best thing to put on there. Because Viral Warhead is good from the Benton ship. Viral Warhead is good to shut down a target, especially in PvP. They hate you for it. All hands on deck, we won't need that. This is good for science recharge and your captain recharge abilities like Tactical Fleet, Attack Pattern Alpha, and Tactical Initiative. And Tactical Initiative will help bring the cooldown of everything else there. So I need to pick something here. What do I need to pick? Numerical superiority. That should help out. Slot that bad boy. Let's engage. Let's go blow up a crystal. Oh, you know what? I need to upload that Do You Want to Kill a Snowflake song. Really need to do that. I'm getting way behind. So, let's go! Was one of my favorite astronauts would say, "Ayakole!" Yeah, I should have launched from the ground. We're going high, coming in, cloaking, popping buffs, popping probability, popping everything, checkmates out, debuff targets. Prioritize the spread for neutronic. I'm not properly flanking this because I'm a baddie. High yield 1 to set the drain. Pop that, pop that. Give me a cooldown reduction there. High yield 3 again. Pop that out. Target's destroyed. Stop log. Let's see what we got here. Alright, let's go blow up something first though. See, I didn't even get a GDF on myself. If I really wanted to cheese it, I GDF myself by using a gravimetric 4, blowing myself up, and then with the GDF start setting records. But I don't do that because I don't like to cheese it that much. That's just way too much cheese. Even Spencer would frown upon that type of cheese. Yes, SOB, you're being mentioned on this damn build. By the way, congratulations on your Torpedo Starship as well. You make me proud. Yep. It's good times, man. It's good times. Anyway. High yield torpedo going out. Pop a heal with that to drop cooldowns. Strategist is dropping the cooldowns for me. Thank you very much. Oof, that's going to be harsh. Can't get a hit again. So where's my target? Where's my target? There's a target. Buff, buff, buff. I'm such a baddie. I should have been hitting this more often. Oh! Anyway. Yeah, I'm just playing around. Oh, wow, look at that. That came up quick. Bam! Let me throw down some more here. Boom, big hit. Here it comes. It comes! Yeah. This wasn't as big as I thought, but still big enough. Come on. Come on. Where's more crits? Where's more crits? Oh, only 173k from that? That was a Terran. Single shot, mind you. Single shot of the Terran. Oof. Terran frigate. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Watch it, watch it, watch it. Hit it! Boom! Yeah, anyway. Sweet target. So, what did we do with this crystal in here? Let me put it down into the DPS After Dark channel. Give me one moment. So. Nah. 34-second run. Only did 224. I didn't flank the target because I'm a baddie. They pop all the abilities en route because people were rushing in there anyway because I'm a baddie. So it's all good. Still had fun doing it. Other than that, man, really, pretty much just go and enjoy it. Build it and enjoy yourself. Oh, hang on one second. Just answering a question for work. There. Now, what you want to do to build up your arsenal. As you get to level 50, start working on all of your reps. Yes, I said all of them. Even the reps where you're not going to get the torpedoes from. You're probably going to get some pieces of gear from it eventually. So work on all of them as quickly as you can. If you got an alt, sponsor all of them and just go through them. The temporal one, for right now, may be subject to change, but it wouldn't hurt for you. We're getting all of them right now. And then, you know, if you get something nice, good. Go ahead and get it. Save up your dilithium claims, so that you can actually go ahead and start getting those to turn in for your rep instead of using your own dilithium. And you'd be good to go. Let me see. As you can see for loadouts, if they work properly, I have one for Drain. I have one for HSE. Terran with the Chronoton testing. Fall weapons with crit D, more heavy crit D focus. And the Quantum Phase set for when I want to do more shield drains and then still hit hard, you know, because I like to do that. But that's pretty much it. Any questions, concerns, comments, suggestions, whatever, by all means, please leave it in the comments. I love you all, except for the haters. Haters, I just have pity on you. That's all it is. No hate, just pity. But who cares about that? Go out, have fun, make a build, enjoy it. If anybody's deterring you from making a build, if you have the mechanics down and you know you want to put the effort into it, ask people who know this game inside and out what is sound with your build, what isn't sound with your build. Take the advice, but still work with the advice towards your, use the advice to work towards your goals and have fun with it. It's a game. Have fun with it. It's, for all the flaws that Star Trek Online has, it has a lot of things that can keep you interested in it. The shipbuilding aspect keeps a lot of us in this game here. And they could expand upon this a whole lot more. And I hope they do in the future. Because then it would draw in more people. And they would get more revenue. And they would invest more into the game and bring in new features. And we would love it more. And, you know, this is great for after you worked really hard all week. You want to sit down and chill with your buddies and talk about ship builds or help out new people here. Go run a new mission and blow up some stuff. Stress relief, enjoyment, trek. Just have fun, man. Just have fun. Zode Knight from the show. We'll see you out there.